Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Ghost Trick. On today's episode, we come face to face once again with the manipulator, or at least a robotic version of him. Let's see what he has to say. You gotta tell me, I need to know. Yep, Sissel can't even hold his imagery anymore. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you, what happened? I can't hold onto that image of myself any longer. Except for the shades, because they're awesome. You can't remember who you are? That's right. I came all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel? My name isn't Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon who you are and who I am, too. What? A clue would be nice, though, along the way. The man in front of me is not me. I'm even further away from the truth, or maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind, a memory about to emerge. So who the heck is Sissel? Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. I've always thought this part of the game is really sad, where Sissel can't even hold on to his own mental image and just becomes a little wisp with shades. So now nobody's the man in red. We've got Voltron and Wispy Sissel. I don't know. They got us good. It's all over for the submarines. The engine room is destroyed. There's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had a deal with those people. They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. The Temsic fragments. I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah, that meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. Don't mind if I do. Let's hear about the power. These 10 years I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research, and I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. Yep, there's us. I believe the meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers, like possessing and manipulating objects, and in my case, swapping objects. Exactly. Apparently there are individual differences in the powers we get. It seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. At first, I could only manipulate small living creatures. Clearly that's not the case now. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. It's radiation. That's what it does? Dying while being exposed to the radiation? On that day 10 years ago, a lot of you have probably figured out what's going on regarding Sissel, Missile, and this guy, but the game goes ahead and spells it out for us right here. A fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart and I died. There's that glowy stuff we saw way back starting from Chapter 1. So of course I received special powers. Hey, wait a minute, is that how I got my powers too? You know, you might be right. Yep. Missile died near the original site of the meteor crash. Remember, I pointed out back in Chapter 14 the existence of the same radiation as the ground. And they're going to show it to us in the game, too. Aren't the Temsic remnants still right there in that park at the bottom of the crater? You're right. So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation, too. So that does also narrow down the places we could have died if we are, in fact, not the man in red. Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of the meteorite? Well, I don't know why else we would have that power. One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death. Ah, this is also strange and confusing. I can't take it all in. It makes about as much sense to me as anything else. Thanks, Missile. Yeah, strange and confusing. That about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? There we go. Contradiction. That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital function stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Maybe that's why he can survive and we only have until morning. Time just stopped, huh? So I simply existed, not really alive and not dead. That pretty much sums up these last 10 years for me ever since that incident in the park. My body hasn't aged a day, my hair hasn't grown an inch. He doesn't have any feeling either, as we noticed, since he was able to slam his foot on the stove. Come to think of it, that old pigeon bite mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with a scalpel. So I guess as soon as an incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to stop things like bolts from penetrating, considering the guy has like shrapnel from the bomb in Chapter 15 and at least 2 bullets, one from Lin and one from Jowd. I wonder how much junk he's carrying around in that body right now, beyond the fragment. Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the Justice Minister and made him issue the execution order, but I thought he might call off the execution at the last second, so he wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl. Little did I know, they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Huh? Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsik. I guess they didn't want any witnesses that they're going to steal the powers of the dead. It'd be pretty useful in terms of warfare and subterfuge. Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. There's the Pigeon Man again. Clearly these guys have been investigating it for 10 years. Cabanela and the Super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, flashback to chapter 15. Why not? Any minute now, there we go. I was one of their targets as well, so they stole my Temsik fragment and here I am. But they had one more final target. Yep. To be fair, they've succeeded several times, we just keep undoing it. Alright, let's see what they have against Lynn. If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage. Again, he still refuses not to blame her for his own stupidity. But I was just a little kid playing in the park. Yeah, I know. Huh? 10 years later, and you become a detective looking into Jowd's case. Tonight, I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see. We're finally going to get the most of the story behind the scene in Chapter 1 and what we saw on the video camera. I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago. So of course you didn't recognize me. This looks much nicer in color than it does in the green Apple II screen of the security camera. Check it out, he's got a huge range-like missile. I took possession of you to make you shoot me. There we go, and again, most people have figured this out by now. In fact, I think Lynn already explicitly said it when we heard about the Justice Minister being manipulated. But now we get to see it in real time. Your subconscious resisted me, such incredible power. It was the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely. So if nothing else besides being relatively incompetent as a detective, Lynn apparently has a ridiculous willpower. The aim was off and the first shot missed the mark. Second try. Bang bang, you're dead. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan anyway. We had to go screw it up. And of course he had a backup plan, apparently. Considering this is exactly when the first hitman showed up, and there he is. Haven't seen him since Chapter 1. We don't even get a flashback. If they had other ideas, they simply wanted you wiped out. But then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme. That's us, sort of. In the past. I showed up. Yep, that's Sissel's narration for once. I was supposed to meet up with him after that, but something went wrong. What happened? My body disappeared. Aha, the inspector in white was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble. But why were those people targeting me? I never even heard of the Temsik meteorite. Because you were looking into the Jowd case. They thought you would find out about Temsik sooner or later. And I believe that's it. So let's get the plot moving along. There's actually not a puzzle in this game, I believe, in this chapter. Just another plot dump like Chapter 12. And that's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for the water pressure to crush this submarine. Oh no! There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface. I have an idea. We hook up the phone line and there are no communication tape cables down this deep. They meant for the submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape. I don't know how many other kinds of coffins you know of. I think I kind of understand now what you've been feeling these 10 years. You know what? This feeling, cut off from the world all alone in a submarine, sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea, this must be how you felt all along. It's awfully tragic all of a sudden. We haven't really spent a lot of time meditating on the fate of the individual characters, so to have it happen now all of a sudden, I guess being about to die on the verge of death brings it out in people. Of course, Kamala's here too. Is it true we're stuck here? Apparently everybody forgot about her until now. Maybe. Missile's in the pillow, isn't he? Maybe you should say hi. My dad? Uh-oh. Yeah, that's true. Jowd was in the other room, too. My dad was here. I bet he'd save us. He's sinking in a different room in a completely different area in the sea. Boy, this mission got all kinds of screwed up. Oh, Kamala, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why would they go to all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why didn't they just steal the Temsic fragment and escape if that's what they wanted? Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question, but I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to. Or do we? Conveniently enough, yes we do! So apparently, Jowd gave Lynn the pocket watch. This will tell us where Detective Jowd is. That person from the inspector in white. That's right, Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. And the bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get there? We should be able to figure something out between the three of us, with our powers, right, Miss Lynn? Right, wait a minute, what about a torpedo? A torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope. Come on, let's get started. Alright, let's see where we can go from here. Looks like we'll be riding on a torpedo again if the hint pans out. Here's a control panel. It's not too much to do here. Again, there's no real puzzle. Check it out, it's the bedroom for Commander Sith. Apparently, he really loves his fruit, just like in the control room, where the secondary function of the control panel is to deliver him fruit. He also has grapes picked right to his bed. Torpedo room, huh? There might be another torpedo left there. I'll go check it out. Oh, I get it. You're going to use a missile to ram the control room. Well, I don't know about ram. We don't want to blow Jowd up, but something like that. We'll climb up to the torpedo room, too. Up is definitely safer. Alright, see you there, then. You could actually check out the torpedo launching bays, one of which we launched out of ourselves earlier in the game. One of them works, one of them doesn't. The one that works actually already fired. Looks like they can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes. There should be 1 more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me. It's actually a bit of a clue. I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. We ought to be able to use the switches now. Alright, let's try it. Good luck. So the 2 switches actually, the one that we need doesn't work. Let's get out of here. Back. But I believe we actually have to use it to find this out for sure. The switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken, but I don't think the entire device is broken though. Probably work just fine if I can only move this switch. Can't do it with my powers alone. Yep. Go figure. We talk to Missile. What will happen to these 2 ladies? I think it's up to us and our powers. What? This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength, Missile? Me? Of course I will. Count on it. And that, I believe, gives us the missile icon. So let's actually first get Sissel out of the switch that Missile can exchange them. Move them over here. Swap the switches. Back to Sissel. Yay, teamwork. Alright. Get out of her head. There we go. Second torpedo. This, by the way... Oh, there we go. That torpedo looks serviceable. All set in this end, too. But something's odd. What is? The command room looks like it's slowly sinking. Sinking? Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Right, hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you. Alright, thanks. It's not like the command room had power on its own. It was kind of designed to be a tomb. I've already set the torpedo's course. It'll head toward the command room where Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, it will pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Alright, got it. Then I'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. So if you remember back in the last chapter, we noticed that the torpedoes have 2 cores. It's basically only for internal consistency so that Sissel and Missile can both ride in the torpedo. I'm sorry I can't go. Missile's gonna drag his feet for a little while. I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Lynn and Kamala behind. I can't do it. Missile. I swapped the switches so the missile can be launched. You'll have to do the rest, Sissel. I can't do it either. I can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels. Of course, everybody can hear him. It's not like it matters that he's thinking it to himself. I want you to go, Missile. What? But Miss Lynn, you staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen, and that's our only hope. But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that. Don't worry, Missile. Miss Kamala? I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry. Kamala! Oh, he just goes on his own. That's a good boy, Missile. Now are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw the switch. We're ready. And off we go. We're about to save Detective Jowd for the last time. Solve the mystery of us and end the game on the next episode of Let's Play Ghost Trick. See you tomorrow.